Hey everybody, Tekking101 here with a kind of different sort of video today. As a fairly popular voice in the anime manga community, or at least I think I'm fairly popular, being watched by such people as this guy, possibly this guy, and this guy. Those are references, of course, to the Facebook fan page Seinen Jump. I'm a member, but I don't post on there myself because I'm afraid if I did, the government would put me on some kind of list somewhere. And not the good kind. Now, of course, just because of the amount of viewers I have, that also means that I'm going to be asked a lot of questions. And it also makes sense that a lot of these questions tend to repeat themselves. Maybe it's people wondering to know how I do the show, the certain style in which I do it, the way I edit my videos, the way I put them out to you guys, or maybe just certain series that I talk about. So instead of me just answering these same questions again and again and again and again and again, I'll just make this video so you guys will stop bugging me. Okay, what? Oh, I shouldn't say that. Oh, okay, I'll do it again. Okay, hold on. Take two. So you guys will stop endorsing my awesomeness. So here's just a list I came up with of the 10 most frequently asked questions I get on my channel in no particular order. Here we go. Why do you only review Bleach? Is it your favorite series or something? Haha. Short answer, no. Bleach is not my favorite series. Now, I know that might come as a shock to some of you, considering the fact that I've done over 100+ manga reviews of the fucking thing, and I'm standing in a room filled with Bleach pictures, and I have my limited edition Bleach wristband, and I also own my collector's edition Shinigami Combat Pass right here, but that means nothing to me. Bleach is not my favorite series. My favorite series in terms of anime is Fooly Cooly, and I made a completely different video about that. You can go look that. I explained why it's my favorite series. It had a really big impact on my life. Bleach, I didn't start watching until maybe about 2 or 3 years after Fooly Cooly, around 2006. It was something that I really found interesting. It was really fortunate that I started watching it right at episode 1, so I got, I started from the very beginning watching the English dub, and then I just started buying the volumes from there, and I'd say about sophomore, junior year of high school, I was all caught up on the series. Now, at that point, though, Bleach was only about, like, 330 chapters of some such. Naruto was about, like, 150 above it, and One Piece was probably close to 300 in front of it. So, obviously, it was one of the shortest of the big three that I could get caught up on. The reason I review Bleach, and I didn't always just review Bleach. When I started doing this show back in 2011, I reviewed the big three, like all Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. Naruto and One Piece I had a falling out on, basically because I had some serious copyright issues with them. Naruto especially. Whenever I make a Naruto video, unless it's, like, insanely parodied to the point where I don't even mention the characters' fucking names, YouTube decides that's a problem and they're going to take it down. Now, granted, the last time I did an Naruto review, like a traditional one, like I do Bleach, was over a year ago. I'm partnered with Fullscreen now, a different network, so I could probably get away with doing one the same way I do Bleach, but at this point, I just found my own niche with Bleach. I found all the running gags that I do, all the stuff is focused on this one series, and aside from all that, if you just want a technical standpoint why I just review Bleach, it takes a long time to do these videos. Traditionally, it takes away probably like close to 4 hours, and this varies depending on how long the chapter is, but to film, to edit, to render, and to upload, that process takes upwards to 4 hours on average. So if I did that, plus another series, like if I did a Naruto or One Piece review, then it would just take up my whole day, and I have other stuff to do. Some days when I do the reviews, I also have to go to work, so it can be very stressful, and like if I was in school, that'd be impossible to do. Aside from that fact, I think at this point, Bleach is just like my sense of comedy. I kind of make fun of Bleach. I kind of poke fun at it. I love the series. I really do, but sometimes it's just freaking stupid, and I can just, call out that it's stupid. I can't do that same thing with One Piece, because One Piece is generally considered to be a really good series, or at the very least, the good aspects of One Piece vastly outweigh the negatives. Naruto is, okay, Naruto, I think, is like a perfect balance when it comes to like good and bad, like at 50%, and that's not a good thing when you consider how passionate that fandom is. So for the most part, I'm just gonna stay away from that. I might do a parody review of Naruto every once in a while, but I'm just staying away from that. I do Toriko reviews every now and then. I did a couple Fairy Tail reviews, but for the most part, Bleach is the thing I know the most about. It's the series I've done obviously the most research on, so that's why I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna stick with it to the end, and I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm having a lot of fun with the series. It hasn't gotten dull or boring for me yet, so I don't really see any reason to jump ship to another series until this one ends. So that is why I only review Tite Kubo Sensei's series Bleach. Oh, by the way, in case you want to watch some more reviews of me that involve Taito Kubo Sensei's work, plug. What? Okay. Anyway, go check out my zombie powder reviews of Taito Kubo Sensei's very first publicized work. Did I say Taito and then I said Tite? I don't know, his name is weird. It's not even his real name. It's Noriake Kubo. That's his real name, but, whatever. How do you rank the big three? This one happens more on live streams than it does on actual videos. Usually the answer I give is the one that I want you guys to understand, is that I can never rank the big three adamantly. Alright? Now, traditionally, One Piece is always on top, because it's one of the best series out there, but here's the thing. Some weeks, One Piece is slow, and other weeks, Naruto or Bleach are very strong. Does that mean all in all, they're like better series? No, it's just a fluctuation of the, like, maybe there's like maybe it's a slow scene in One Piece. Maybe they just finished the awesome battle, and it's just like a recap chapter, and they're getting started on a new adventure. And at that same time, in Naruto, there's a big epic battle going on, so obviously, Naruto would eclipse One Piece for that week. But, you know, One Piece is usually going to be on top if you want just like an adamant declaration, but in terms of One Piece and Naruto, those ones can always fluctuate back and forth between the second and third spot. If you want to throw Toriko in there too, like, because like I always get asked the big three, but really I think it should be called the big four at this point, because Toriko's getting up to close to 300 chapters. It's really gathering steam. I'm certain, and other people will agree with me in this community, that it should stand as like the big four. It should just have like its own ranks now, because it's really getting that good. So I'm going to throw Toriko in there too, but even with Toriko, it all fluctuates on that second, third, and fourth tier there if you want an all-around thing. And on a weekly basis, it's always shifting. There's really no like definite way for me to say every week this series is like automatically better than this one all the time, because it's never like that. That's the point of an ongoing story. You have the climaxes, you have your rising actions, you have declining actions. This is how stories are told. So if you want me to rank the big three as of this week, right now, in terms of the chapters that were released, I would have to go with One Piece number 1, Naruto number 2, Bleach number 3. That's obviously kind of the... Oh, and Toriko. Okay, Toriko, alright, Toriko number 3, Bleach number 4. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just calling it like it is, people. I'm just calling it like it is. But that's just for this week. Next week, completely different. Probably. Hopefully. Maybe. Probably not. What will you review after Bleach ends? Cannot fucking tell you how much I get this question. Alright, first off, it's not going to be over for a while yet, guys, alright? I know it's ending soon. There's some people that were saying it's going to last several years. I said before on my April Fool's video, one of the few things I took seriously in that video was my personal belief that Bleach is going to be over in under 2 years. Maximum 2 years. Now, I could be wrong on that. I really could be. You know, if Kubo decides to go a different route with it. Just me personally looking how the story's progressing, I can't see him coming up with more material for 2 years, okay? Because this arc already has been going on for, I want to say 2 years, maybe a little bit longer than 2 years. But 2 years and we're only at this point. I can't see him doing the same length of stuff that we did all the because we're already 100 chapters into the Final Year Blood War arc. I can't see him stretching another 100 chapters. I can't see us getting to chapter 680 where we are right now with 580. You know what I'm saying? So I think 2 years. Now, when it does end, we're probably going to get some warning beforehand. Okay, we're probably not going to get a Beelzebub thing where it's like, you know, a month or two before the series ends. Oh, by the way, this series is ending. Bleach, although the anime has been canceled for the time being, it's still a very popular series. It's still in Shonen Jump. It still ranks, okay? Maybe not as great as other series do, but it still ranks. So, and it's been going on for like 10 plus years. So, I think Shueisha and Shonen Jump are just going to let Kubo finish it the way he wants to finish it and give him some creative liberties with that. And they're probably also going to give him like a heads up where whenever Kubo announces, hey, I think I'm going to be done with this in about 6 months, they're going to let us know. And then I'll have a video on that when that occurs, and I'll make my decision. I'll probably have a whole different video where I make my decision what I'm going to do after Bleach. Right now, I'm aiming toward Toriko because, like I said, it's really gathering steam. It's still a very young series. It's not even up to chapter 300 yet, and it's still got a long ways to go, especially if anyone that reads Toriko, this new arc they got started into, it's post-time skip, and we got a long way to go just from the basis of the setup. So, basically, just calm down your tits, and we'll deal with that situation when we come to it, alright? Alright, we'll cross the bridge when we get to the freaking bridge. Right now, we're still in the woods at Grandma's house, okay? Alright then, continuing. What translation sites do you use? Alright, this usually comes up whenever I do a video and I read someone's line of dialogue and somebody inevitably texts the question on the comment section or on Facebook. Well, you do know that translation really butchered that character's dialogue. What he actually meant to say was this, and if you go to this translation, like, okay, look. Usually I use MangaStream translations. MangaStream.net actually has probably the best in terms of quality of scans. You know, the quality of the art is always much more defined than other ones. I don't know, the way they scan it or something. They just do really good work. The way they draw the actual lines of dialogue is much more embossed, much more pleasing to the eye, I should say. And it just looks better when I put them on my videos, alright? Like, for example, when Kenpachi first revealed his name of his Zanpakuto, Nozarashi, okay? In the Manga Panda version, or another translation, it was just the line of a normal text. He's like, I'm getting really excited, Nozarashi. In the MangaStream translation, it had a really embossed, cool lettering that really made you pumped up. Like, holy shit, he said its name, you know? Now, does that really mean anything in the context of reading? No, but does that mean something in the context of me talking about it and me showing you images and wanting those images to be pleasing to the eye? Yes, that does mean something for quality. So that's why I use MangaStream. With that being said, I traditionally read the Manga Panda and the Manga Reader and the Manga Here and whatever other translations there are, okay? I just take the scans from MangaStream. If there's anything that's really glaringly bad translation, usually somebody on my fan page will tell me about it, like, hey, I think that means this, and I call them out on it. I'll bring it up like, if you're reading this translation, you might get a little confused if you're reading this translation. MangaStream has a tendency of throwing in some, like, cultural slurs and shit in there. Like, I think there was one chapter where Cringy, one of the members of the Zero Squad, was talking about the Soul King. He's like, oh, I guess the Soul King must be swinging off his sack, excited over Ichigo. So sometimes I just find that hilarious in terms of translation. I'm sure that's not the way Kubo originally designed the dialogue to go, or maybe it is, I don't know. But just for the sake of better to look at quality in terms of making a video, I use MangaStream, but I do read other translations. It's just that's the one I choose to use for the videos. That's the reason I use them. Have you read or watched insert this anime here, and can you review it? And this basically just refers to all the plethora of different anime and manga that I get asked to review and asked to read. Most notably, Hunter x Hunter, Hitman Reborn, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, KillaKill, any kind of seasonal anime. The seasonal animes I get bombarded with, because as soon as the season gets started, like a week or two into it, and, you know, out of all the seasonal anime, they pick out the one or two that are, like, really good, and everyone's just like, holy shit, you need to read this, holy shit, you need to read this. The seasonal anime, like last year we had the Attack on Titan, which was a seasonal anime back then. Well, I guess technically it would still be a seasonal anime, and everyone's like, oh man, you gotta do something about this. And, you know, I did a series review, I did the first impressions about that. I hopefully will be bringing that series back in the near future. It's been probably close to a year since I did that. And occasionally I'll do that. It's just going back to the whole thing. I have other videos I need to do, I have work, I have to try to balance my own life, okay? So in order to do a review, I honestly have to watch the whole series, unless I'm doing a first impressions, but even with that, I still have to take time to watch it, I have to edit, so that still takes time out of my day. I'm not saying I'm against that, but sometimes, call me crazy, sometimes I just like to watch an anime and just enjoy it without having to talk about it, if that makes any sense, okay? I've been doing this for over 3 years. Sometimes, if I'm watching KillaKill, which I haven't seen yet, but if I'm watching KillaKill and I'm genuinely enjoying it, maybe I don't want to talk about it. Maybe I just want to sit here and just enjoy it and watch the series and just end it. There was a series I watched called Good Luck Girl about a month ago. I was really enjoying it, and I enjoyed it just because I didn't talk about it at the end of the day. I didn't have to worry about making a review or keeping notes. I could just enjoy the series as it goes along. I could skip over the boring parts if I thought they were not important to the plot. That's how it goes. So, I'm not saying I'm against the suggestions, I'm just saying I get a lot of them, and I don't usually sift through all of them, but if something gets really freaking popular, and all those other series that I do read, and I just don't get into. Hunter x Hunter, I tried, guys. I honestly tried. I read like the first 50 chapters, I watched like the first 10 or 20 episodes of the anime, the original and the new one, and I don't find it click. I don't know, the story, it just doesn't click with me. That's not saying like Gon and Leorio and Kurapika are bad characters. They're just not characters that are really speaking to me and really making like I'm really interested in this plot. I'm honestly not. Now, I know it might be kind of sacrilege to say that, especially if McWhirlpool's watching. Sorry, Justin. But, you know, that's just how I feel about that particular series, and I don't feel like I can't obviously make videos about it if I don't really feel something to talk about that's really interesting to me personally. That's just how it goes. That's what a review is. Speaking from the heart, my personal subjective opinion, okay? That's how it goes. Okay, it's like 90 out there, and I'm in here wearing a freaking suit, and Jesus. Okay. Really liked your Let's Play videos. Could you review this game? So this is going back to the whole things like, you should review this, you should listen to this game, okay? Ever since I did the Pokemon ones. Let me tell you something. The Pokemon LPs, they're quite a project, okay? It's not the kind of game where I could just, you know, like, do and knock out in a couple of months like I did with the medieval replays, okay? These are stories that take a long time to do because you're kind of, like, gathering up your own little team, and it's different experience for everybody, and there's a lot of stuff in terms of plot, especially with Black and White, you have to deal with. So, with that being said, I hope to get done with Black and White within the next 20 episodes. My Emerald LP was about 50 episodes. This is obviously not going to make that. Well, actually it might if I don't do any of the post stuff, which I might just skip. But in terms of gaming, it's a completely different story. You know, me picking up and doing an LP for a different game is completely different from me just watching one episode of an anime, making one video about it, and calling it quits. LPs take commitment, and it has to be a game that I've either never played before or a game that I absolutely love to death, like Medieval. Pokemon Black and White is a game I've never played before, so it's a completely new experience, and I'm going to be doing White 2 after this. So in terms of games, if you give me recommendations for that, odds are I'm probably not going to review them, especially since, you know, I don't like to have more than one LPs at the same time, because then we really lag behind. I'm supposed to be doing a Medieval 2 LP on my vlog channel right now, and that's like going nowhere because I have all this other stuff I'm doing. So obviously more than one LP isn't working out, and I can really just stay with one. And in terms of that, I'm just going to stay with my niche with the Pokemon right now. There's other people in the anime manga community that do a lot of other Let's Plays. I'm just not a hardcore gamer. You can tell that why I only review one Pokemon games. You know, I'm not a hardcore gamer. I haven't touched my Xbox in like months, and I don't even have the recording software for like my Xbox or my PS. I don't even have a PS3. I was going to say PS3. I was going to lie to you guys, but I can't. I have a PS2, okay? It's the best I got, alright? I'm not happy about the situation, but that's all we fucking got. Alright. Moving on, I guess. What editing software / camera do you use for videos? This is a Canon SX160 IS. It's HD, it's 16 megapixels, really love it to death. I got this on Black Friday at Walmart for about, what was it, like 80 bucks. Really good deal, hasn't failed me yet. The only fault is it runs on AA batteries, not on a rechargeable lithium cell, so that way I have to get the rechargeables, and I have to keep swapping them out every 20 minutes. In which case, the battery's probably going to fail on this thing in a couple minutes, because I've been, you know, jawing on for, you know, past 20 minutes or some such. So in which case, I better hurry this along. In terms of editing software, I use PowerDirector version 9. I believe we're up to version 12. I bought this one off of Amazon.com on the recommendation for a fan. I will let him remain anonymous at the moment, but he was a really great fan. He told me about this. He told me about this amazing editing software that you can get, and it's really user-friendly. I've used Sony Vegas before at a friend's place. Really freaking confusing. Although this was back when I was used to using like Windows Movie Maker and stuff like that. So doing Windows Movie Maker, then jumping to like Pinnacle or Avid or Adobe After Effects even to a degree, and Sony Vegas, that's a big jump there. That's like going from 2 miles an hour. That's like literally going from 1 horsepower to a freaking Ferrari, okay? It just, it'll blow your mind, dude. With that being said, I have used Avid, I have used AVS, which is another free one. I've used Avid, I've used Adobe After Effects, I've used Pinnacle, I've used Sony Vegas, but all of those were just like either free trials or at a friend's place. My friend is he's a movie producer. He actually does stuff. He's been to movie like film festivals. He's actually made feature-length productions or helped on set do feature-length productions, and he kind of gave me some pointers in terms of that, on like cameras and everything, so I really have to thank him for that. But in terms of me, I'm happy with PowerDirector. It gives me everything I need, which is really just, you know, picture over video, which I'm so happy I can freaking do this now. The split screen stuff I do when there's, hey, look everybody, there's 2 Tekkings here, whoa! You know, shit like that, you know, I'm just really happy. I'm learning how to do this. There's a bunch of special effects, you know, I can make it rain, boy, make it rain, you know, so, yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff I haven't even tried yet on here. I'm still experimenting with stuff. There's green screen technology, as I've used in another video, but the green screening is, it's a little bit tricky. It's not the same as, like, a professional kind of green screen thing, you know? I mean, I know that's not a professional green screen, it's a piece of fucking construction paper, but even if it was an actual green screen, it still wouldn't be seamless like you see on, like, the news or something, okay? I'd have to probably get a better editing software for that, or maybe something specifically for green screening and chroma keying. But as I do not really even have a place in my house to put up a full-length green screen, or my mom wouldn't care much if I just painted a wall green or blue, you know, we're going to be holding off on chroma keying for a while in terms of, like, actual use. But yeah, as far as that goes, that's the technical aspect of my videos. My computer is an e-machine. It runs Windows 7, which I love more than Windows 8. Windows 8 I hate in terms of what I do. I don't think it'd just be really confusing to do that. But that computer itself is kind of running on its last leg. It's about 3 years old. I got it right before I started doing this. I got it as a graduation present from my high school. I have 2 hard drives on that sucker. I have the internal hard drive, which is 500 gigs, and I have an external hard drive, which is another 500 gigs. So I'm rocking a terabyte on that thing, but I save up all my videos, and all my Bleach reviews, I save everything. So, and all my other videos I've made, I save everything. So I'm getting pretty close to maxing out that, you know, it's getting up there. Okay, so among other things, I just discovered that about 25 minutes on this camera maxes out an 8GB SD card. Alright, so we're just going to breeze through the rest of these. There's only 2 left. Number 9, can you help me start my own channel and or manga reviews? Alright, well, I actually already made a video on how to do a good manga review, or how to do a good anime review in general, the same style I do it. That was my 7,000 subscriber special. You go check out that right there. I apologize, that was back when I was using my old shitty camera, and this is, you know, ironically, I was talking about how to make a good video, and I was in like 480p. But that's not necessarily, camera quality isn't everything, and go watch that video to find out. Also, I've decided to start doing something else on my channel as of probably next week when the next Bleach review comes out. At the end of the video, I am going to endorse another manga reviewer in the community, ones that are just getting up and starting, you know, so send me in below what your channel name is, what you do, or over my fan page or something like that, and let me know what you talk about, just like in like 1 or 2 sentences, like, oh, I talk about manga. Okay, just don't tell me that. Like, what do you actually talk about? Do you talk about the big 3? Do you do let's reads? Do you do let's plays? Do you talk about Bleach? Do you talk about Naruto? Do you talk about, you know, some other manga, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Attack on Titan, whatever? Let me know in basically like 2 or 3 sentences what your channel's all about, and at the end of each Bleach review that I do, probably like after, probably before the ending credits, I'll give like a personal shout out to your video and go check out what that is. Alright, so post those in the comments below. I'm assuming, because I just said this, I'm going to be getting a very long list, and I'll be adding them to the list on my, I'll keep like a Word document handy on standby that I could just, you know, take a name off of in succession and just do that. So hope you guys will be very happy about that project. I didn't want to, the annoying thing is sometimes whenever I'm watching a YouTube video on like another person that I'm watching, this isn't even necessarily anime manga related, I always get a little ticked off when the video starts out with, hey, go watch this other YouTuber, he's really cool. So, you know, I was like, because like I'm here to watch you, I'm not here to recommend something to watch that other guy that I don't care about. But this is a community, it should be a unified community in the purest sense of the word, so I'll be endorsing your channels on my Bleach reviews coming up. So just let me know below what you do, and I will be, of course, doing that. Alright, so last frequently asked question that I get is, what's up with all those different versions of you that appear in videos? This one I kind of phrased myself, but it basically just comes down to the fact that in my Bleach reviews, I do storylines, okay? Mostly, probably, actually, I'm very confident in saying every other reviewer in the community does reviews in a traditional style, as in they read the fucking chapter, they sit their asses down, or stand their asses up, whichever, and they just talk about the chapter, and that was all you wrote. They might include some other interesting stuff in there, like going back to previous chapters, referencing other series. They might have a comedy element too, but I'm pretty damn sure no one else does reviews the same style I do, with a separate storyline going on, with the opening skits, with all the different versions of me. We got Smart Tekking, Law Tekking, Vampire Tekking, oh, he'll be showing up again soon, and Dark Tekking, which also I'll be continuing that series this summer. So really, it's kind of disconcerting, though, if you're just like a casual viewer, if you just, you know, just started wanting, like, oh, wow, I love this recent Bleach chapter, I'm going to go on YouTube to see if anyone's talking about this, and then you click on my review, and it starts off in something completely different, not even related to anime manga. I try to keep the opening skits as short as possible for that reason. Like this previous week, it started with my own storyline of me being trapped in an alternate universe. Wait, which actually begs the question, what am I doing here now? Is it like breaking the fourth wall or something? I don't know. Anyway, separate dimension, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. But the reason I do all this is because it's really my inspirations from this are the Nostalgia Critic, our AVGN, who, you know, they review movies, they review video games, and they also have their own storylines, they have their own skits, they have their own alternate, you know, characters they bounce ideas off of. Sometimes, most of the time, actually, they're themselves dressed up in costume. I'm like, I really love that. It really told me what more a review could be than just me talking about the series. I can make it fun, I can have its own storyline going on, its own character development and everything, and I just love that concept. I've also been a huge fan of the talk show host of The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, okay? And I love Craig Ferguson because while other talk shows had like a sidekick, you know, like David Letterman has Paul, and he just like can bounce his ideas off. He's like, hey, did you like that movie? Oh, I thought I liked the movie, okay? Well, Craig Ferguson, he decided to do all of that with a guy in a horse costume and a robot gay skeleton. Alright, so I thought, okay. Alright, he makes it work, too. He makes it fucking hilarious to watch that show. And, like I swear to God, if you live in America, I don't know if it's broadcast in other countries, if you live in America, CBS, stay up to 12:30 at night. You will not be disappointed, alright, if you've never seen this show. But I decided, okay, I could do one better. I'm gonna do the other characters on the show that are just me in other costumes, and a stuffed frog Pokemon, and a brick. And I made it work! I don't know how, but I made it work somehow. So that's the reason I do my storylines and the views, just the people that I was inspired by all those years ago when I got started. That's the reason I do it. And I haven't really gotten a lot of complaints saying like, oh, you need to stop with the storyline, the review, I don't understand the review or whatever. So I'm gonna say, like, people are still coming to my channel. Obviously, people, new ones are coming in and subscribing, so they're obviously liking what I'm doing. They're not that put off by it, so that's a good thing. It's not like when I do a video that's heavy on the character development, I get a lot of dislikes or anything. It's usually the same as any other review I do, so hey, I guess no, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Anyway, this has been a long-ass video, not as even close to long as I thought it would be, but anyway, those were all the frequently asked questions I get. I'm sure you guys will let me know of a bunch more, though, that I left off this list. Hope you have an awesome-tastic, stubular day. Tekking101, signing out. Oh god, I think I have heat stroke. Froakie. Water gun.